Hey everybody, and welcome back to Dude's Brunch, your late night morning talk show where four people talk about four things they found on the internet. I'm your host Taylor Olmstead, and with me this week to talk about food and fun internet memes, it's Tyler Reed. Tyler, what did you have for brunch today?
Hey babe, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
This week, I had the same as last week, which was a breakfast burrito with bacon, side of salsa, and also a maple oat scone.
From Coffee Emporium?
It sure was.
I'm glad that I can guess where you were, even though I've literally never been there. And Sean Evans. Sean, what did you have for brunch today? Wait. Was it pancakes?
No, actually. I wasn't expecting to work today, so it was supposed to be pancakes, but then I took a shift, so I just had black coffee this morning.
I see.
And
we're
I had
back
a couple cheeseburgers from McDonald's before noon. Does that count?
It totally counts. Cheeseburgers and black coffee.
So I had that.
That sounds super American.
Yeah. We got a coffee maker. We got a new coffee maker yesterday because it was just becoming a little bit too time consuming to not have it like preset. So I've been using that. It's been fun.
You're moving away from the French press?
I still have it, and I still have my espresso thing. I just we need bulk coffee in the morning when we get up for more applications than our little French press can have. So we upgraded to a...
He's an industrial construction coffee. You need like, he ain't playing games anymore. We need coffee now.
Coffee
and it is nice to have it be hot for 2 hours.
That is the one thing I miss about having a drip coffee maker, is that it just stays hot all day.
So, Sean actually says an interesting thing, because he said he went to McDonald's and he got a burger, and he said a brunch. So Jack in the Box recently launched their breakfast menu, which included a brunch burger, which is a burger with a croissant, mayonnaise, fried egg, bacon, and cheese, and then a beef patty. So it's like, apparently it's pretty good. That's all I'm saying.
So it's just a Royale burger on a croissant?
Pretty much. And to be fair, Royales are pretty good.
Royales are pretty good, but I don't think putting it on a croissant makes it breakfast food.
It makes it brunch food.
It does make it brunch food. You're right. Well, our guest this week, joining us for the first time, it's SCAD student in motion design and also amateur video blogger Hunter. Hunter, how's it going, man? What'd you have for brunch today?
I had two pecan waffles.
Pecan waffles. Also what I had for brunch. Hunter and I went to Waffle House this morning because he's staying with me in lieu of his own residence due to a hurricane. We went to Waffle House. We had a wonderful server. Her name was Day Day. Shouts out to Day Day at the house. Well, our first topic this week comes from my best friend in a brunch sense. It's Sean Evans. Sean, what do you want to talk to us about?
So this week I want to talk about clowns. Oh my god, that just sounds terrible when I say it out loud. But I don't know if you guys are aware of the creepy clowns, right? Yeah, you've heard about this.
How could you not be?
Okay. So I posted on the Slack like 2 weeks ago that I wanted to talk about this, but it just never actually came about. But I figured after I listened to an hour-long thing on NPR about it this week that it was topical enough for us to talk about creepy clowns.
Which of course means by the time we publish this episode, it won't be topical anymore.
Exactly, because Dude's Brunch is talking about the internet this morning for what you did last night 2 weeks ago from yesterday.
Exactly.
But my first question is, have you guys seen news reports where you live?
I've seen clowns in the suburbs of Atlanta. Clowns don't really hang out in Atlanta proper.
Hunter, Tyler, clowns? Have you seen them?
I like how Taylor has like a poll.
Clown Polls 2016.
Right. Taylor's the authority on clown sightings.
Apparently.
You could add anything to your resume. With
Hunter, is there clown? What? Okay, I should say, what part of Florida do you go to school in? Do you go to school in Florida?
Savannah, Georgia.
Oh, okay, in Savannah. Okay. Is there clowns in Savannah?
Well, I wasn't approached by one, but I was told I was going to get shanked about a week ago from last Wednesday.
From a clown?
Not a clown, just a random
Oh.
person. So
Oh,
that was
okay,
good.
okay. Tyler, have you seen any?
Yeah, there were some clowns somewhere in Ohio. Don't ask me where. My sources say Columbus, but not that I would actually know where that is.
Yeah, that
Thanks
sounds
for
about
your
right.
insightful input there, Tyler. Clowns exist somewhere in Ohio. I know that there are clowns in D.C. in the greater metro area because one of the newscasters this week was talking about clowns, and she said, "Oh yeah, sometimes you'll be coming home and you'll see like a clown walking down the street going to a birthday party." But I don't think, and I know they've shut down a lot of schools around here because of creepy clown sightings. Not so much being around, but like threatening stuff, like threatening violence against people.
Yeah, I've heard about that a little bit from family members in parts of Ohio where Tyler isn't, especially more rural parts, getting like gun threats on schools and clowns like hiding in the trees outside of schools, usually involving schools. I don't know why. But
I know UC is dealing with a big clown issue right now.
really?
Yeah, like I see that on Snapchat almost every night. My friends that go to University of Cincinnati, they're dealing with the clowns up there.
They said something on NPR this week that there was a couple universities where students were going out in like hunting parties to find clowns
That's
if there
what
was
they
like a
were
threat
doing.
on campus. And I don't know if that was supposed to be like a joke that NPR just didn't get right, or if they really are like mobs of people roaming the streets looking for clowns.
It's real, at least from my Snapchat stories that I see that my friends post, which is kind of sad to say because there's like 20 of them going out and said clown hunting, so...
Did you guys have time to watch the video in the Slack? So, now that you guys have all watched the video, we'll post it in the
In the show notes.
Basically, just the summation of the video is it was done by this little news station, which I'm probably assuming is outside of Oklahoma City in Lawton, Oklahoma. And they kind of go around and talk about the Clown Lives Matter protest. They have these clowns that are kind of standing on the side of the street saying Clown Lives Matter. And when I was listening to this on NPR this week and kind of like following the story because it just is so interesting now, this was really strange and it made me feel really weird. And I want to talk about this because I feel like a lot of people haven't been talking about it, but we're going to. The Clown Lives Matter. So my first thing is like, what did you guys think about the video overall? Was there anything that kind of like stuck out to you, or like what did you think?
So I want to get the joke off right away. The woman who they interview, Michelle Boozer, they put a name card under her during one of the shots that says Michelle Boozer, terrified of clowns. And I just feel so bad for her that like her whole identity on this local newscast is reduced to terrified of clowns. That's just
Do you like
sad.
clowns?
I'm pretty indifferent towards clowns.
Hunter, do you like clowns?
Indifferent as well, I'm not scared of them, so...
Tyler, do you like clowns?
I mean, I'm not like irrationally afraid of them, but boy, has like every form of media ruined them for just about everyone.
I don't like clowns. I don't harbor any resentment against them, but I don't necessarily like them. So I thought that would be a good question to ask too. Hunter, did you have any reaction to the video, and what did you think?
The Clown Lives Matter portion, didn't know about that, but
Oh yeah,
I also see how, Black and Blue Lives Matter, all those things. It's just a kind of another, I don't know, what would you say that?
Like a spin-off of
Yeah,
sorts.
different spin-off of it.
Mm-hmm. Tyler, what do you think?
I'm thinking about it. Sorry.
Okay, no, that's okay.
I can answer.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Thanks, bro. Clown Lives Matter, I don't know. I understand how frustrating it must be to be a professional or semi-professional clown in America in 2016, because you're already fighting against, like Tyler said, the all forms of media assault on you and like what you do for a living, of like kids being afraid of you and stuff. And then this just kind of like goes over the edge and keeps you from getting work and stuff. That really sucks, and I really feel for those people. At the same time, they probably could have called the movement something other than Clown Lives Matter and been taken a lot more seriously.
That's kind of the problem almost, is that I feel like in order for anything to kind of get any sort of traction is that we have to like latch on to like previously established like sort of like hashtags like word and then gate, like because apparently Watergate was the most important scandal of our entire like generations and generations to come, that we had to like base it off of that. And so then like Black Lives Matter is kind of that same like thing. It's like you could say anything out, like it could have easily been called anything else, but it doesn't like have that sort of like imposed like seriousness, I guess, associated with it. I don't know. There's like some like when you add that sort of like style to it, it brings like a sort of like seriousness, or at least some sort of like context to it, I guess. Maybe, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I'm very on the fence about this because I read another article that was talking about this guy I guess he's a professional clown here in the DMV, and he talks about how like he's upset that his livelihood is kind of going away. And that's also why I want to talk about like college campuses kind of like attacking clowns, because I think everyone's right in saying that. Like, of course, the assault on evil clowns has been, on the rise. I mean, look, I typed that Giphy into Slack, and the first one that came up was that clown that's like digging a grave and like pops up and looks real creepy. So I think that's like one thing that's just, you can't help but kind of imagine clowns to be like that now, because it's just readily available images. But also, I feel I don't like the Clown Lives Matter, because I think it really degrades Black Lives Matter. And the reason I say that is because I think a lot of the clown stuff that's happening is like copycat and like trolling. I wonder if that's kind of what Clown Lives Matter started as, or has turned into really quickly, or will turn into really quickly. That it's just like it's a mockery,
Yeah. It's quickly becoming that, at least in the media, I think. I shared in the Slack, and we'll put in the show notes, an editorial in Time magazine from Violent J of the Insane Clown Posse. His piece that he wrote is actually really well reasoned and really interesting, and he talks about kind of the profiling that ICP fans have faced over the years and some of their political views and things like that. But the spin and the headline and the way this article has been circulating around the internet today is all about like, oh, haha, isn't it funny? Clown Lives Matter is such a big deal that we got the Insane Clown Posse in on it. And the guy from Insane Clown Posse is saying like, we just wear makeup on stage, but there are way more frightening things in the world than people pretending to be clowns and making rap music. And I think it's interesting that like the media spin is even making the dude from ICP seem more reasonable than like... I mean, we hate on them a lot on this show, but he comes off really well in this.
That's what was really weird about all this when I saw this stuff. You guys have any, Tanner, Tyler, do you guys have any feelings on this? Do you feel kind of like, eh?
I mean, I haven't had much experience with it or anything. And I know people that do, so I can see how it could be an issue if it's affecting you, but it's kind of like the hurricane. Unless you're on the coast, there's nothing you can really do, kind of.
I think Taylor's right that the guy from Insane Clown Posse is right, because it's just like I think everything basically said is pretty accurate, because it's like it really is making a mockery. I feel like it was definitely. I feel like Clown Lives Matter is almost like in a way sort of like this sort of like new like meme cycle, sort of like how Harambe kind of got out of hand, where it's like people like to take sort of like isolated incidents or particular things and then like just blow them up like into like these huge proportions, and like they want to like remix them and like experiment with them in the form of like memes. And it's interesting because it's like it sort of has like this like it feels like kids are just playing with these ideas, and it just kind of like, since everyone's anonymous on the internet, and it kind of can just explode, just by accident, just through like 4chan and similar things. It's like it has like this strange like weight to it, and can somehow sort of like spiral out of control. So I think we're seeing like a lot of people like sort of like latching on to like these newly forming sort of memes, and really like sort of like really using them to do more harm than good.
Mm-hmm.
Like typically memes have just been sort of like just a fun thing to share on the internet, but it feels almost like we're almost sort of like maybe we're reaching some sort of tipping point where maybe like we're giving far too much power to like just things that we see on the internet. Maybe I don't know. There's a lot to unpack from something as simple as some guy dressed as a clown and was walking around, and suddenly more people were dressing as clowns and doing it. It seems pretty simple. I don't know.
Right. Well, I think too, like they were saying on the video, that October is a ripe time for this kind of stuff too. Like it's pretty much, it almost seems to be like a perfect storm, because they're like coming up to Halloween. You can find this stuff readily available. Like, you already know there's a lot of people that don't really like clowns. Clowns have this thing, the stereotype of them already out there that's pretty prevalent and known. Meme culture. I don't know if I want to blame it if that has anything to do with it or not, but I think there was something on NPR that said like kids are like starting accounts of creepy clowns at school, like during the school day, and getting school like canceled and stuff by threatening school. Like it just escalates so quick.
See, I think that plays into what Tyler was saying, and kind of what Janet was saying last week when we were talking about Pepe. Memes used to be so innocent, and they're just not anymore. Like, they're bridging over into the real world in these ways, like with kids starting accounts at school to get out of class. Like, I think people are starting to realize, particularly younger people, how effective these like internet modes of internet modes of communication, like memes or like creepy clowns or like whatever, how effective they can be in the real world.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's all in real time now. And that's how you can, get your school shut down by posting a picture of a creepy clown or whatever.
Right.
And I don't think that's exclusively what's going on, but I certainly think it's a part of it.
And I would say maybe the result of this is maybe that there's like more of a concentrated effort to have maybe like teachers or like have someone like on your like school staff that's like able to sort of read between the lines of these like situations, like because like people who are like YouTubers or like popular people typically on the internet, they get like thousands and thousands of death threats for whatever the fuck, and it's like obviously none of those follow through, but it's like obviously if at least at first you take these seriously because you're not used to it, but eventually you just realize that it's just bullshit people on the internet just being mad at you for whatever. But obviously there is there are at times real issues when that could happen. Like they could actually be real, like people can get that information pretty easily if they try hard enough. And so maybe there could be like just someone in these public institutions that could be able to read between the lines and kind of figure out like what the fuck is going on, like if they just make a stupid like Instagram account with like 0 followers and it's just like a clown, or it's like an egg account on Twitter that's like, I'm gonna murder everyone at X school at this time, and it's like, well, I mean, I don't know, maybe there something like, I don't know, it just feels like there needs to be better like digital literacy, I think.
All right, I've got our second topic this week, and I want to talk about the new iMessage in iOS 10. I was sending some messages back and forth with Sean this week, and just felt like maybe this is something
I'm always going to mess with you regardless of whatever happens, so.
And I just figured this would be something fun to talk about. So for those who aren't familiar, iOS added 10 new features just to iMessage in this most recent update. I'm going to run through a few of them very quickly, but there are a bunch of them. So you can send messages with various sorts of effects, like the bubble lands on the screen differently. There are screen effects, so you can send people like confetti explosions when they open messages. You can handwrite messages. You can send GIFs in messages now. What else can you do? You can send people kisses. You can send your heartbeat. You can send fireballs. I'm not really sure what the point of those are. And you can send stickers, which Tyler just sent me a sticker of a Snorlax. It's very cute. And so I just wanted to get your guys' takes, your hot takes, if you will, on the new iMessage thus far. What do you think of it? Have you been using it?
Of course I've been using the new iMessage. I love this thing. It allows me to troll Taylor almost 24 hours a day, constantly, all the time. It's the greatest thing ever. I think I use like 2 of the actual things that are new on there, and I pretty much had to delete my entire music library to update to this thing, but it is so worth it. Just to know that he's on the other side of this receiving end, getting the dumb stuff that I send to him.
For the record, as he was saying that, both Sean and Tyler sent me pictures of dicks via digital touch without consulting with each other.
I was wondering why.
Send me a pee-pee, Sean. Send me a pee-pee.
The first one with Taylor and Hunter just kind of look at the screen, and the second one both start cracking up.
So Tyler, have you used this before? You just sent me this very inaccurate picture of a dick.
What does it look like?
I'll take a screenshot and we'll put it in the show notes. This is very NSFW. Please don't look at this if you're at work.
You gotta click it. You gotta make him play. You can just play it for him.
How did you get the picture on there?
Look, Sean, I'm drawing. It's so fucking dumb. That's my official statement on iMessage 10. Fucking dumb.
So have you used it at all before this?
I mean, today, like 20 minutes before, I was messaging Catherine and trying to figure out all the fucking things it's supposed to do. But I don't use iMessage anyway, so I had very little use for it in the first place. So no, I had not used it before this. You had sent me some things and I was like, hey, Taylor messaged me this stupid shit that I don't give a fuck about. Like, I was like, there's like the kisses and like the little thing. I was like, what's the point of this? What is the point? Why do I need this?
Hunter, iMessage 10?
I'd have to update my phone to know what we're doing.
So you weren't compelled to update your phone by this at all?
No.
That's so interesting because a bunch of people I've talked to have said that's the only reason they updated.
Well, I mean, I don't like the new lock screen. Like, that's...
Oh, you don't want to do the push to unlock?
Well, I mean, I have that, but no. I don't want to, like, update it also. I just got this phone. I'd like to use this iOS for a while.
Hunter needs time.
Yeah.
And I don't disagree with him at all.
I've been using iOS 10, the beta, on one of my devices since July, but you couldn't really like do this stuff much in the beta because you could only send it to other people running iOS 10. So since the new iOS came out is really the first time that I've gotten to use this. And there are parts of it that I really like. I like the way website links show up in text. You can actually like preview them. I think GIFs are great. The stickers are kind of fun. But all the stuff we've been playing with during the show, the digital touch where you can like draw on pictures and draw things and send like heartbeats and stuff, nobody used that when it was on the Apple Watch. And now they just kind of like crammed it into iMessage. I don't understand what the point of this garbage is. Like, great. Sean sent me a picture of him with angry eyebrows drawn on it. Oh boy. Like,
what's the picture? What's the whole point of a fireball? What is? Like,
yeah, you can send people fireballs through digital touch. Like, why? What does that do? What's the point?
I mean, they're like trying to compete with Snapchat, which is really fucking dumb. I mean, I don't.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely what it is.
I'm just like, why? I mean, it just feels so unintuitive and so not like sleek, not like sexy, not like Apple at all. It feels so like, it feels like more like a Facebook thing, and it's pretty sad when like Facebook is like beating you on like design elegance in your Messenger format, which is not great because Facebook's been bloated for years. But I mean, like, it takes so many, like, if they had just added just stickers, like line stickers, fine, perfect. They didn't need to add anything else. Yeah, you could draw on it, you know, fine. You could draw on a picture. Great. But, like, the things where it's, like, you can change, like, you have, like, emotes on each thing that each person says, and you're like, why do I need to mark something as a haha? Why do we need to mark an instant message as a haha or a question mark?
Yeah, and you kind of alluded to what I wanted to talk about, which is, like, so many of these just seem dumb. Like, they just seem pointless. Why? What is a fireball? What is the point?
See, I wonder if they made this knowing that you were going to be able to share between your iPad and your Mac and stuff like that.
Why do you say that?
Because, like, okay, so go to your little box and then type what you're going to go chat, like you're going to type a message, and then you can turn it in a landscape view, and you can draw, right? But doing that, I struggle to do that with my finger. Like, I feel like that was really something that was made to do with, like,
the pencil?
What is it, the iPen? Yeah,
the Apple pencil.
Right. I feel like that's something that was made not to do with an iPhone.
I would agree with that. Yeah, I think it's really hard to do on the iPhone.
And because I look at the like preset ones and I'm like, oh, that would be cool. And then I try to do it, and it looks terrible.
Well, and you can't do that on the Mac at all. Like, it just won't let you. Mm-hmm. You can't do hardly any of this on the Mac. So, Hunter, I know you're a big Snapchatter. Is this like, does this feel like just copycat Snapchat garbage to you?
It's like a combination of Snapchat and Facebook Messenger, like Facebook many, many years ago when they introduced stickers. I don't know. It seems like forever ago since they got stickers, so that just seems kind of old to me. And then, I mean, I do see the Snapchat portion where you can, like, draw on pictures and stuff. The only difference is like, you can see the drawing happening, which, I mean...
Which, in some ways, is fun, but also, like, 90% of the time, completely unnecessary.
Yeah, like, I don't need to see you draw this goatee on yourself, Tyler. I can just see that you drew a goatee, and that's fine. Did you guys have trouble finding these things in the app?
No.
Everything was difficult.
That's interesting, because usually Sean has trouble with these things, and Tyler, you usually figure it out.
What's that supposed to even mean? It
feels like you have a harder time, like, figuring out user interfaces sometimes than Tyler does.
Do you want to fight or something? Is that what you're trying to do? Like,
no?
I mean, do you want my attention? You're a really good friend of mine, and you might be a little bit cute, but, like, you don't have to insult me like that. I mean... Jeez, learn how to flirt, you weirdo.
I'm sorry, Sean. You're smart, too. You're both smart. Tyler and Sean are both smart.
Why does it have keep and then a little thing with a dead guy on it? I don't...
So, the digital touch messages expire after 2 minutes unless you choose to keep them. And then that's a sticker. I put a sticker on it.
You put a sticker? Oh my god.
See, this is what I mean, like... I have to tell Tyler what I did in the chat that we're both in right now. Like,
what the fucking shit dicks is this? What the fucking what the fuck is this?
It just seems overly complicated, like in every possible way to me. And I'm kind of surprised that Sean doesn't feel that way, to be honest.
Oh.
You don't find this to be even a little bit difficult to, like, figure out?
No. Oh, you can send gifts to people.
Oh, I love sending gifts. That's like my favorite part of it.
I was just going to ask you how I could do that, and then I found out.
I don't know. It just feels like it's too many taps. Like you tap on the message box, and then you tap on the arrow, and then you tap on the app icon, and then you swipe until you find the app that you want, and then you select something in that app to send somebody, and then you click on it, and then you still have to click the send arrow, and then it's gone.
Basically, you're just upset because you love simplicity.
It just doesn't feel very Apple-like. Like it's too many clicks.
Wait, so were you upset that the original iPod you had to like click on the button to hit play and then turn up the volume on the little thing and spin it all around? Was that
no? I like the click wheel a lot.
Are you upset that Siri can't identify you by your facial somethings or something rather?
I mean, a little bit, but we can't get everything that we want. I don't know. I've like had to explain to people how this works, and it seems like so many people are like, wait, and then I do what? And then I click where? And they're just like blown away by it.
What's your favorite new thing about iMessages, Taylor?
God, if this is the way every election's gonna be, God, it's gonna be. They're gonna have to start charging for these debates because, goddamn, it's good. It's good entertainment. Should like boxing matches.
Taylor, what's your new favorite iMessage thing?
My new favorite iMessage thing is the App Store. I like that apps that you already have on your phone can get involved in iMessage. Mm-hmm. So, like, I love that you can send people money through Venmo inside of iMessage.
How do you find that?
You click on the app icon. That's the problem. You click on the app icon, and then you click on the weird little bubble icon in the bottom left that doesn't look like anything, and that gives you your row of apps. And then you have to click on
images
Store.
And recents and Store.
Yeah, and then you click on Store, and you go into Store, and then you search for the app you want, and you download it.
Oh, okay. Oh.
When you have to say it like that, you're like, okay, something's
yeah,
not
it's
quite.
not. It's really, yeah, you're right. There's something that's not sexy about that.
Right, yeah, it takes way too long to get to the little Messages app store. And why is it not just a part of the regular app store? Why are there two app stores now? But there are all sorts of cool apps, like...
Oh my god, you can get stickers that are logical fallacies and cognitive biases. Oh my god, I'm totally downloading this.
This just changed Sean's life.
Wait, what is it called?
The app is called Logical Fallacies and Cognitive Biases.
Is that in the sticker store? Where'd you find that?
I was just scrolling down in the featured section. It's called Put a Stamp on It.
I love being corrected.
There it is. Logical Fallacy sticker pack.
Sean's downloading it right now.
That's amazing.
There's like tabs of like there's like sub-tabs of like different pages you can be on in the iMessenger. I'm like, just can we not?
And if you download too many sticker packs or apps, it runs out of space for the little scroll bar at the bottom, and so you just scroll on into infinity, and you have no idea what page you're on. It's really irritating. There's also no search in the iMessages app store. You get
oh my god, you can play tic-tac-toe on here. You can play Connect 4.
Yeah, you can play Connect 4. There are all sorts of games in there.
Oh, this is Sarah's totally skeptical, like, you're terrible look right now. Like,
this is a fucking trash fire. I hate this so much.
Tyler's so upset. Tyler, please explain your rage.
I didn't realize that you could just put stickers anywhere the fuck you want.
Yeah, you don't have to send the sticker to someone. You can literally just drop it on top of any part of the message. Anywhere.
This is so dumb. I want to kill myself. No, I'm just kidding. I don't want to say.
Oh my god, this is so great.
Alright, you two, fight. What makes this so great, Sean?
Because you can just put whatever you want now. You know, like, all the critiques that sending text messages was, like, impersonal and there was no way to contextualize anything, gone. Absolutely gone. Like okay, so I missent a text to Taylor earlier today that said it was cloudy, but that was it. Because my mom texted me and asked if we had seen any rain from the hurricane in D.C., and we didn't. So Taylor posted 2 stickers over it that said anecdotal fallacy, and now he's posted another one probably that's just like cognitive bias, and then it's backfire effect, belief strengthened as disproven. Like, now you can troll Taylor all the time. Even you can just read back through the text and find everything that you ever didn't say that you disagreed with and just get him on it.
Yeah, but I can put so many stickers on this that you can't even read the original message. Like, I can't read that. I don't know what you said.
Can you delete them?
No!
Oh, this is genius.
Tyler is just throwing a gajillion stickers on top of everything.
So basically you could go back in people's messages and take like a black bar and just like delete sections of the conversation.
Yeah, basically.
Why don't we invent that app right now?
We could. And that's the thing, you can develop any kind of sticker pack for anything, as well as like iMessage specific apps.
My soul, it hurts.
Express your rage, Tyler.
Because this is just from the company that's like, hey guys, we're going to give you this nicely compact, elegant package. You know, it's very sleek, very consistent. You know what you're going to get. And then all of a sudden they're like, hey, do you guys like memes? Do you guys want to just fuck some shit up?
Basically, Tyler is really upset that he can't just have a hot dog without watching somebody else put condiments all over it.
Well, listen, now this is a hot dog that's like they took it. See, there's like a hot dog at like a ballpark. You know, you put like your onions, your mustard, your ketchup, your whatever, and then there's like the elevated hot dog where it's like it has like all these really interesting ingredients. You know, add some like extra stuff onto it, and then there's like the deconstructed elegant hot dog where everything is just placed individually of it, and then it's like, and then they like smashed it all together, and then it's like. Like this meatball that used to be a hot dog, like an elegant hot dog.
I don't understand where that metaphor was going.
Yeah, I don't understand that either. I don't know where
I eat a hamburger.
Thank you, Tyler. So, Hunter, having watched us screw around with this and listening to us talk about it, are you going to update to iOS 10?
It gives me more of a reason not to, I think, actually.
Why do you say that?
I don't like the idea of like how somebody could just like literally spam you with a whole bunch of stickers or something. Like they cover up the old messages and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because I could see just being in like a group text or something and just somebody doing this the entire time.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about group texts. That would be terrible.
I don't group text. I wish there was an Apple setting where you could automatically not be included on group text.
So one of the things you can do in iOS 10 is you can turn on Do Not Disturb for specific message threads, and you can turn on Read Receipts for specific message threads. So you can kind of like ignore a group message once you're put into it, but you can't just block yourself from it altogether.
Mm-hmm. I actually found out that I just had already downloaded some stickers when I updated the NBA app. That they gave me stickers for free.
Because nothing's better than free stickers.
I feel like a freshman all over again.
How'd you do that thing that you just did, Taylor?
So I just sent Tyler a message with a effect, which you do by typing out a message, and then long pressing or force pressing on the arrow, and then choosing your effect. And there are 6 of them that you can send to people. And then there are screen effects that you get to by long pressing on the arrow, and then swiping right to the screen, and then swiping around until you pick the screen effect that you want, and then you send a message with confetti or lasers.
Jesus. Why? Why?
Tell me, Tyler, how do you feel about this?
I feel like Steve Jobs is just just rolling in his grave. He's like, what did they do to my glorious company? We were so sexy. We were so sexy.
Sean, are you going to be sending me every single text with lasers now?
No.
Damn, shots
That's
fired.
right. That's right.
Take that, Twitter.
Alright, so One of the interesting things about all of this, other than the fact that it's really hard to use and there's shit everywhere, is that basically anybody can create a sticker pack. You just take images, drop them into Xcode, and export it as a sticker pack, and it goes into the App Store. So not only is this, like, just great for rampant copyright violation, Hunter is shaking his head and sighing deeply.
Now everyone's definitely going to be a graphic designer.
Yeah, anybody can design any sticker they want. And so I was curious, if you could make a sticker, or a sticker pack, what would it be?
It wouldn't be stickers, it would actually be sound bites.
You want to send sound bites to people?
Or, yeah, like from television shows that I like and stuff like that.
I think there is a SoundCloud app where you can, like, send people music, so I don't see why you couldn't send sound clips.
When oh man, what's the mother off of when Lucille does the Gene Parmesan thing? Like, if you'd actually play that, like, oh my God, it's Gene! Like,
you just want to send that to people so it randomly goes off in their ear when they open a text message?
Yeah. I mean, if you could send the video, that would be funny.
I really want a sticker pack of, like, some kind of I'm sure they're going to make it, but, like, some kind of drawn or illustrated version of various Portlandia characters. Like, I want to get the feminist bookstore ladies, and that guy that says that everything is over, all of that. I just want to be able to, like, put the Portlandia characters next to things my friends say when they're acting all hipster. Tyler?
Oh, sorry. I thought everyone was a graphic designer.
Are you going to put your work, like your illustrations, as stickers in the iMessage store?
That's something I've been I've been a really big fan of, the stickers. On Facebook. All right, yeah. So I like the stickers on Facebook. There's a lot of, like, weird sort of, like, Japanese ones, because that's traditionally where the medium sort of started was through Line, which is another messaging app. So, I mean, I would try to do something sort of along the lines of that. I would probably make a character and then do a bunch of illustrations within this sort of set of things, particularly within the context of good morning, good night text, or stickers, because I think those are usually pretty cute. Let's see, what's another one? I have to have like a cute character, but has a really sexy body for one of them, because I think that's just way too funny. I have to have one where he's clearly, like, dead from being very, very tired. And I think that's really, as long as you have those, I think you got it covered.
So, the question that I'm sure nobody is asking is, when is the Dudes Brunch sticker pack coming out? And I think that's a great idea. I think we should have Dudes Brunch stickers with little black cups of coffee and the little cartoon versions of us and our logo and all of that stuff. And I think Tyler should make us some stickers. Doesn't everyone in the audience, and also Sean, and also Hunter, think that this is a good idea that Tyler should do?
I like it.
Yep, good idea.
I think it's a good idea.
If you also feel like we need Dudes Brunch stickers, you should tweet at Tyler. His Twitter handle is TDRDesign.
I'm not sure why you need me to do it if everyone's a graphic designer.
It's time now for our third topic, which is a rehash of a topic some of you may have heard before. Tyler wants to come back to defend his defense of his love of the Misfits. Tyler, has a year brought you some closure on this, your potentially favorite Halloween-themed band?
Well, no. So, what I want to talk about we talked about it almost exactly a year ago.
We'll link in the show notes.
As I was watching it, I was like, man, we were really shitty at podcasting a year ago.
Yeah, we've gotten so much better at that.
We've gotten so much better. But anyway, so I think I kind of want to just kind of like revisit just the idea of Misfits Appreciation Month and the Misfits in general. And so I guess what I kind of really want to start off with is, Misfits sort of like started this genre of horror punk, but like there really hasn't been any sort of like mainstream like real like horror punk band or any like sort of like real horror themed sort of like punk band within like the common like the public lexicon in probably 10 years, something like that. And so I'm kind of wondering like why, like how do you guys feel about that? Are we about due for one? Do you know of one? Is there one to I don't know. Just kind of wanted to see, is there place in this world for another Misfits?
Of course there is. They're all around us.
Sean's not wrong. I think there is. I think the like highly specific genre band, like your horror punks or whatever, totally have a place in this world. It's just they're never going to be like mainstream successful, and we're really only going to care about them for a short period of time. So I think about like, I don't know, I think about a band like Here Come the Mummies, for example, the horror / sci-fi themed funk band. They're pretty cool. You wouldn't listen to them like every day though. They're just kind of a side thing that you pull out of the drawer occasionally. I think that's fine.
Like, just like Dropkick Murphys.
Yeah, just like Dropkick Murphys. Exactly like Dropkick Murphys.
Wait, you listen to Dropkick Murphys?
I mean, specifically on one day for about 5 minutes.
That's a long time.
Flogging Molly, does that count?
That's also a long time.
Yeah, that's almost worse in some ways.
I think that's the longest I listened to Flogging Molly's in like 5 years right there, just saying their name.
So I think that's really at the core of it. What I kind of wanted to talk about is like, why do those kind of bands exist, and like, do they actually make money?
Okay, so kind of piggybacking on the question before, I don't think that the Misfits did anything particularly new at the time. Like I feel like they were able to put some things together that were, that made them horror punk. And they got the cult from that. And I might even go so far as to argue that if they didn't have that they probably might not have been as much of a hit as they were, just because they're like so off the wall and look so crazy sometimes. But I feel like when I made the comment earlier that they're all around us, I think like the legacy of like costumed rock and roll, of like theme based rock and roll, is still alive and well. Like look at Rammstein, look at like Black Veil Brides. I'm trying to think if there's like any kind of hip hop groups besides like Insane Clown Posse, who we already talked about earlier.
I think you could put Run the Jewels in that category.
Would you? Okay. I mean,
to a certain extent.
And like, I wouldn't necessarily call these like horror groups or whatever, but like, or even like you could put poppy groups, like, oh man,
AC/DC.
No. Empire of the Sun. Or Kiss. Look at Kiss. There's one that everybody knows. Michael Jackson might have even, maybe Thriller was an awesome like horror pop right there. Playing off that. I think it's really good.
Hunter, what do you think? Novelty bands that dress in costumes.
I mean, I'm probably the last person. Like, I listen to a lot of music, but I don't go far from my comfort zone for music. As Pandora informed me earlier last week, I've listened to 1,847 songs on a single station within the last 3 months.
Oh.
And they said, here's to another 1,837 more. And I was just like, so I don't go far out of my comfort zone, but,
what do you listen to?
I listen to what's it? Alternative music, alternative rock, indie.
Okay. Okay, like modern stuff?
It's kind of like before it gets popular. That's like the best way to describe it.
Okay. What's the station called?
Today's alternative. Let's see here. Today's alternative radio is the actual Pandora station.
Okay. Does it give you a list of artists? Just to have some, just so I have some idea.
Folk revival.
I don't know, because if I pull it up, it's just going to show me everything I've liked.
Oh, okay.
That'll work, though. Just to give us an idea.
We just need any point of reference at all.
Let's see. AWOL Nation, The Hana, Lumineers, 21 Pilots, kind of.
Yeah, I can see that, yeah.
Young the Giant, Foals, Gorillaz, Saint Motel, Nothing But Thieves, Fall Out Boy, The Shelters.
Nothing But Thieves is a good band. If you haven't listened to them, you should. Yeah.
So.
I haven't listened to them. I'll have to check that out. But I think... So I wanted to talk about 21 Pilots. I'm glad you brought that up. Hunter and I actually watched their first SNL appearance last night.
That was horrible.
It was something. But they've been doing this kind of costume rock thing lately. Like, they wear the face paint, and they have, like, backup dancers on stage with gas masks, and, like... I don't know. It's like they're trying to be this kind of conceptual, arty, like, thing with their face masks and their paint and everything.
Well, that's how they're dressed up in all their music videos, too.
Yeah, it's like...
It's their thing, I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of like what Misfits used to do with, like, the skull paint on their faces whenever they were in public. But this is 21 Pilots. They make, like, pop songs for teenage girls.
Right. It's a very jarring experience.
I mean, is that the legacy of the Misfits? Or...
No. The Misfits are just a branch in the giant tree
of costume rock?
They're a branch in a giant tree. That's right, Sean.
You heard it here first.
I wanted to come up with a better description of what the branch looked like, but it was probably like a decrepit, rotten out wood that has, like, cockroaches climbing all over it, and, you know, like, maybe something from True Detective Season 1 where they have the little stick geometric figures, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Just like a ball of hot dog, Sean. A gnarled tree. I forget, did I make you guys listen to Ghost before? So I want to talk about Ghost at least just for a few minutes, just because I was listening to this album last year, and I kind of wanted to touch base on it when we talked about it during Misfits Appreciation Month. But I just didn't get to it for one reason or another. So that album ended up going on to winning a Grammy. So that was like almost like my album of the year, I would say. And so what I wanted to kind of talk about was it feels like Ghost does a really good job of sort of like being like a half measure of like, yes, we have spooky themes, and yeah, our guys like really like we have this weird sort of like costume theme, but like the music isn't so like inherently like this is literally Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just kind of wondering, does Ghost kind of like in any way sort of takes almost the Misfits idea and kind of makes it a little bit more
palatable?
Yeah, palatable.
I don't know. Maybe this song just wasn't for me. It was 6 minutes long, and I felt like it could have been about 2.5.
Sure.
It was really long.
That's right.
I mean, it's. I don't think if you're not into this kind of like heavier music sonically, I don't like. I don't see you getting into it. That said, like I don't think that doesn't have anything to say with these guys shouldn't have gotten a Grammy or anything, because their music is good and I like it. I just don't know if this is gonna attract any audience.
Yeah, like it's probably at least better, but not. You know, it's probably still at least in the spectrum, in the realm of like this is spooky music.
Yeah, it's definitely spoopy.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that a lot of people listen to The Cure.
Yeah,
more so
that's a good point. Maybe The Cure is a little bit closer.
More palatable. Yeah.
I don't know. Hunter, this is pretty firmly outside of your wheelhouse. What did you think?
What genre was it even?
Good question.
There we go. Hunter, everyday music correspondent.
According to their Wikipedia, it's listed as heavy metal and doom metal, which I would say is pretty far out of the spectrum of doom metal, but I would say it's at the very least heavy. You know, it's almost a little more rock leaning, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a bit more hard rock, like Black Sabbath-ish.
Right. Which is currently in my wheelhouse still, so...
I don't know, I think if you're trying to, like, get the costume rock thing in a more palatable way, this is the way to do it. Like, write songs that aren't about skulls and zombies, and, you know, just be spoopy and wear makeup. That's fine. But when you're wearing the makeup and you're being spooky and you're writing songs like I Want Your Skulls, really only the Misfits can pull that off, and only about for 1 month of the year. You know?
Maybe a good mix would be Tiger Army.
There you go. That's a rockabilly,
but it's almost
general,
rockabilly,
or psychobilly,
right? It's almost like psychobilly, right?
Yeah, I think
But I feel
psychobilly
like
is a
they
good
have a very
compromise.
Misfit touch to them. We're some flowers bloom.
So maybe
versus we are. Yeah, it's just like it's about the same.
So maybe what we need to do is just put together a new Misfits Appreciation Month playlist that's all things that you could listen to if you're not super into the Misfits. Does that sound fair, Tyler?
Misfits De-Appreciation Month.
I was thinking more like Misfits Legacy Month.
I'll start working on that. That'll be my next week topic.
Cool. I think that was a good segment. Go Tyler. Pulling it out at the last minute. Phrasing. All right, our last topic this week is going to come from Hunter, and I want to talk to Hunter about why he is here in my studio/bedroom space doing the show with us this week. As we record this, Hurricane Matthew made landfall, what was that, Wednesday? Thursday, so like 4 days ago. And on Wednesday, Hunter got evacuated from Savannah College of Art and Design. And he's been moving all over the country ever since, trying to figure out where it is he's going to live.
Well, I mean, at least I got to see the Atlanta campus for Savannah College of Art and Design in the process of my grand tour of the world.
The general Eastern Seaboard.
Yeah, all of Georgia, I mean.
Yeah, so I guess for Tyler and Sean and all of our listeners, can you walk us through the timeline of like where all you've been?
Let's see. It was Tuesday we got the notification that like all classes got canceled for rest of last week. So basically Wednesday morning, 3 a.m., bus stop, Savannah, Georgia. Went from Savannah to Macon, Georgia. Macon, sure. Obviously, I'd be there. I'm there all the time. Atlanta to Kennesaw.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, Chattanooga, Knoxville, Lexington, Cincinnati, and then back to Atlanta. And then tomorrow I'll head back to Cincinnati, and then later in the week I'll head back to Atlanta, then to Savannah, hopefully.
So is this just on like one bus, or are you just like kind
of... I had numerous transfers. So basically from the Savannah to Cincinnati part, that was... I swapped buses in Atlanta and in Knoxville.
And then you flew from Cincinnati to here.
Correct. And then I'll fly back to Cincinnati tomorrow. And then I'll fly back to here and carpool with some Savannah students to Savannah from Atlanta. And that way I save about $300 on a plane ticket. So
why did you fly back to Atlanta?
Well, because originally school was supposed to resume Monday, tomorrow. And then I got a notification saying, oh, wait, no, we'll close classes until October 17th.
Oh, my God.
Just far out. I don't like that.
So a lot of this whole process has been motivated by you not really knowing like when you're going to go back to school and then getting notifications on your phone like at the absolute last minute, right?
Well, yeah, because it was earlier today. I was going to carpool with some people back to Savannah because the county announced that the roads will reopen at 5 p.m. today, which they did, but roughly an hour before we were going to go on this road trip, I got an email from SCAD basically just announcing that, yeah, classes are canceled until October 17th. We highly recommend you go home.
I think that's such an interesting moment, because if you think back even 5 years ago, if they had sent that email out the day before classes were supposed to resume, that they weren't going to until the 17th, nobody would have seen it.
Yeah, nobody would have.
Because they wouldn't have had smartphones, and then they all would have shown up in Savannah.
It wouldn't shock me if somebody shows up in Savannah right now and is asking why is the door open.
That's true.
Are they like prorating your housing and like classes and stuff for all this stuff?
We're just going to tackle... So we don't have classes on Fridays. So
okay. Oh, they're going to make classes on Fridays?
Yeah. Like your housing, that doesn't really matter. Your meal plan, that doesn't really come into effect either.
Yeah.
That's the least of their worries and kind of the least of mine at this point.
Unless, of course, you live in that building that doesn't have a roof anymore.
Yeah, well, then I'd be kind of pissed. But I don't live in that building. My building, judging by the security cameras for the construction site that are at my dorm building, my building didn't look like it lost power at all that night, because it takes a picture every 10 minutes of the dorm, so it's kind of cool.
And so that was another part that I wanted to talk about. He's been using security, or not security, but like webcams that the city put up for construction sites around his dorm to check and make sure that like his dorm didn't blow away and there's still power. Yeah. And I just think that's like so fascinating. Like,
I mean, I could pull it up right now and I could probably see that the lights are on in the basement.
And we've got links that'll go in the show notes so people can see what he was looking at, as well as some screenshots of like, he showed us all the flooding outside of his building via this webcam, like from his phone. And it's just so fascinating to think, like, you could pretty much watch this whole disaster unfold as you're evacuating.
If you're able to, you can go all the way. It's early in the morning, like super early in the morning when the hurricane hit on October 8th, 2016. So if you're willing to click that long back, you can find approximately when the hurricane hit. And you'll notice it because the sky goes from clear blue for weeks on end, and then all of a sudden it goes gray for a couple days.
This kind of reminds me of my last semester of graduate school. I had the unfortunate circumstances of having all my classes go on a Monday. So I had like 12 hours of class one day a week. And we got the first weeks of class, I had my orientations, and then for the next 4 weeks we had something happen every single Monday where class got canceled. So I pretty much only got like 11 weeks of classes my last semester of graduate school, just because it was like one missing class after the next, and it was such a struggle to make that up. And it was the worst. Because it was like Sunday night every day. I was like prepared to go to class the next day. And then it was like, nope, just kidding. 8 o'clock in the morning, all classes are canceled. I was like, oh my God, again?
Yeah. Yeah, Sean and I were at the same campus at the time. And so it was like, freak ice storm. Or the university lost power. Or it's -20. And I would just get these, like, angry texts from Sean, like, I just want to get the education I'm paying for.
I just want to go to class, man. I like school.
Nerd.
You're like, listen, like one day off, you're like, oh, cool. You know, I can catch up on some light reading, I can do some extra laundry, but then you're like, why is it all week?
Right, but then when you realize that you have to, like, go back to school and it's been 4 weeks and you have like one class period to catch up on 12 books that you had to read in the meantime, you just feel like nothing's ever going to happen right.
Yeah, so are you at all concerned about going back to the workload?
I mean, I'm fine with it. So the week we're supposed to be on midterms this week, which I'm don't know where those are going to get rescheduled to. And
Fridays.
Well, yeah, basically Fridays, but they basically said the schedule will come eventually, don't worry about your work. And that's kind of the thing everybody's worrying about is your work, because, I mean, it's not like I can easily take your projects when you're evacuating the city, unless you have your own car and you're not driving another person, which is kind of selfish in my opinion. But, I take a 3D class, and I don't think TSA would be too happy with me carrying like this giant wooden sculpture with me.
Yeah, you can check that, right?
Oh yeah, I'm sure I'll come in one piece. But I'm not worried about the workload when I get back.
That's so interesting. Like talking about trying to get like as much stuff as you can carry while also being able to get through airports. Because we were talking earlier, like, you have essentially just a backpack with you. And you've been in literally trains, planes, and automobiles over the last 4 days with nothing but this one backpack's worth of stuff.
Yeah. I have a sketchbook, and that's the only thing I was able to take, like, art-wise with me. I have that and all my pencils. I was scared to death because I thought my X-Acto was in the box, and I was going through TSA, and they stopped and, like, looked at that box. And I was just like, oh no, is the X-Acto in the box or not? Because it sometimes is. I don't think it was, though, because I didn't get, like, attacked.
So, Tyler and Sean, if you were evacuated for a hurricane, or whatever, because Tyler's not going to have a hurricane in Ohio, tornado. Let's say you're evacuated for a tornado.
You don't know.
Whatever. If you were evacuated right now, like, what do you think you would take with you? Just based on purely, like, what you're sitting around and how quickly you'd have to get out.
God, that fucking sucks.
I would grab my backup hard drives for both my computers. Grab all of my payment bills and stuff and everything, and then I'd probably grab my diplomas and my guitar. That'd probably be it.
But you're assuming that you're going to take your car, if you're taking your guitar.
Yeah. If I wasn't, just my paperwork.
And the hard drives, I'm guessing?
Yeah, and the hard drives. Underwear.
How long do I have to prepare?
You don't know.
Let's see, I had 8 hours approximately from the time I got the email to getting on a bus, and then that time I also arranged transport for at least the first part. Which that part's the worst, actually.
So you probably only had realistically like 5 hours.
Yeah, because the transport's a pain in the butt because everybody was trying to leave, and unless you're willing to spend thousands of dollars, the bus was the best way. And I got one of the last seats, and I noticed that they canceled basically. My bus and 2 others went out that day, and all the rest of the buses were canceled.
Oh my god.
So are there people that are just living there in the dorm still right now, or what?
The school itself had, like, transportation arranged, but if you did that, apparently it was a 21-hour drive from Savannah, Georgia to Atlanta, which was about 4.5 for me. And
yeah, it's only supposed to take like 4 hours to get between the two.
Yeah, and I had to stop on the way there, so like that's okay with me, but I couldn't do 21 hours just to get that far. Like, I'd start walking at that point, I think.
Oh my god. That is crazy. Yeah, I don't know. The moral of the story is have renter's insurance.
Oh my gosh, yes, have rental insurance. I'm like Sean. I'm taking, like... Sean has a big iMac. I'm lucky in that sense that I have a laptop, so I would grab my laptop, my backup hard drive, and chargers. All of my paperwork is, like, digital and saved on my computer or on a backup hard drive. So really, I mean, probably just my computer and as much clothing as I could fit and just run out the door.
Yeah.
And like,
I'd take my cat. I couldn't leave her behind.
All the students, if you had like an animal on campus, that was allowed, like, and that didn't count any extras. So
Okay.
As long as it was school approved, which, I mean, I don't understand how you could hide an animal at the school, but
I knew people that do it.
I know one person, but I'm just waiting because it's like their animal's too loud. It's going to get caught.
I mean, god damn it. If If I had only to bring a few things with me, I'm like, fuck. I mean, I guess I have to bring a laptop. Obviously, I'll bring like my iPad, my phone. You know, I'll probably bring my 3DS because it's all kind of sitting here.
Tyler's just gonna take whatever's on his desk. Empty Starbucks cup.
No.
Yokai watch figurines.
I was just thinking that like Tyler is somebody who never has downtime. Like he's incapable of like
he can't just sit.
You would go crazy if you had to like meditate for like 5 minutes.
I would prefer if I could. I had a whole moment. Listen, I had a moment this week where I felt like I could just sit there for a whole second. Because listen, I've been playing in this. I had an RPG event. I've been playing for like 2 months, and then everyone stopped. Like basically, the event was running. Everyone got their drinks. Everyone was satisfied, and then I sat down and I just watched them for a few minutes. And I was like, "This." I think this is the first moment I had felt content almost in my entire life.
I'm just imagining the like giant inferno of stress that would be Tyler in a bus station, waiting for a transfer during an evacuation.
I feel like you could design.
Oh yeah, and that's the part where strangers offered drugs to Hunter.
Yeah, there's 2 police stations within a 1-block radius of where I was. That's not good.
The graphic design character of Tyler running away in a disaster is just littered handheld electronic devices, just a trail of them. Following, like...
He's, like, tripping over charging cables.
Basically. It looks like he's, like, cuddling 15 octopi because they're just... This core is just everywhere. And, like...
Well, I can't bring my board games with me, so those are all going to be just destroyed completely, so...
If you could only bring one.
Which one is it?
Fuck.
We should ask another question because it's going to take a while to get through this one.
I can't answer that question. I can't bring this one.
I love all my children the same.
Except for Job. I don't care for Job. Sean, if you could only bring one of your books.
I did bring a book with me. I read it.
The Art of War.
Is that the only book you own, Tyler?
No, you fucking piece of shit. Fuck you.
I know that. I just wanted to make you mad.
It's a good thing I'm contractually obligated to hang out with you guys every single Sunday. Otherwise, I wouldn't ever talk to either of you ever again.
Maybe my Cornell West reader, because it's signed by him. But it's not. I don't know. I could leave all of them behind. To be honest, it didn't even occur to me that I had a bookshelf behind me, full of books, and signed ones too. Like just whatever. They're just books.
Gotta get the cat. More important.
Yeah. She depends on me. Even though I stepped on her tail today. I'm sorry.
Well, Hunter, we hope you make it back to Savannah eventually.
Yeah. You were so close.
Yeah, you were. You're so close right now. This is the closest you'll be for a whole week.
Yeah, my building won't let me in. It's sad.
An art student without a home.
You have to...
Average art student.
Alright folks, well it's time to wrap the show up like we always do with a round of shameless plugs from the panel. I'm going to start, as we always do, with Tyler Reed. Tyler, where can the people find you?
Hey everybody, you can find my design and illustration work at tylerdreed.com. And then you can also follow me on socials as TDRDesign on Instagram and Twitter. You can also follow The Rook at The Rook OTR. I tweet about board games there.
And Sean Evans, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Snapchat at sevans8910. Please find me on Snapchat because I'm trying to get into it and I need lots of people to do stuff on there so I can get into it more, because if not, then I'm probably just going to fall off of it. Yeah.
Sean's old. He just got Snapchat last week and he needs friends.
I had it before. I had it like 3 years ago and nobody used it with me, so I just didn't use it.
Well, you heard it here. Peer pressure Sean into using Snapchat. Hunter, where can the people find you?
YouTube, just Google search Hunter Scully, no space in between. Should be able to find me. Look for the red hair.
You talking about Taylor?
No, looking for me.
Oh, okay.
I didn't tell him to look for him.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Well, you can find me on Twitter at TC Olmstead, and you can find the show there is at Dudes Brunch. The show is also on Facebook as Dudes Brunch, and if you really like what we do here, you can review us on iTunes. Thanks, everybody, for listening, and we'll see you next week for more brunch.
People, let me tell you about my best friend. He's a warm-hearted person who'll brunch me till the end. People, let me tell you why he's so much fun. Whether we're eating it with syrup or the walnuts are on it too. I don't know where I was going with that one. Let that one go.